Welcome to another episode Out of the Blank Podcast. I'm here with Jane.
Robbie, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Jane. And you know I'm excited for this podcast. And
Why? Tell me why you're so excited about
I
it.
think you know why, because I'm 22 years old and I have so many questions. So why don't we just start it right off the back with what do you do?
I'm a brothel keeper. I'm a brothel keeper here on the Gold Coast in Australia. I sling sex. A house of ill repute, women of the night, whatever you want to call it.
I know people are like, well, that's an immature thing to be excited about, Robbie. But let me tell you something. I have questions because, first of all, I want to hear your kind of idea. And first of all, what it actually is. Because I think I'm going to give you my example of what I think it is. And it's probably what most people think when they hear the word brothel. And that is like old school, like powdered wigs, makeup all over the place, and you know it's just a weird like place you walk up with like $5 bills, like, hey, let me get that girl for 20 minutes.
Now, are you talking about the old school Deadwood style brothel or the Paris style brothel? Because, you know, going back and imagining all that, you got, you know, England and all their, you know, hoes and prostitutes and that sort of stuff. So each one sort of has a different style. But you know what? They are all the same. It is all powdered wigs and big hair and
wait,
lipstick everywhere.
You said different style. Is it like flavors of Coke where they come out with like Coke cherry and they got like...
Wow. Have you seen Deadwood? You know that show on HBO?
I haven't seen Deadwood, but I played a lot of video games where they involve brothels, and that's where I get the idea of what it is.
Yeah. Well, you're not too far off.
But
But
like when it comes to like, you know, the whole idea of it, I thought this was an illegal thing, but it's legal in Vegas. I've been to Vegas.
It's not legal in Vegas. I'm from Vegas. I spent the last 8 years there. It's legal in Nevada, but in the confines of Clark County, it is very illegal. So you can go 8 miles out of town and cross the border into, you know, Pahrump, that area, and you can go to some of the most famous brothels in the world. But within the limits of Las Vegas, it's a no-go.
Well, can you explain to me a little bit about either what you do and also a little bit about the industry as well? Because I think everyone is thinking how I'm thinking, where it's like this weird kind of like crazy, like, you know, oh my God, they're getting paid for sex. But then I started kind of looking at it like, I mean, honestly, if you were going to pay me a lot of money to get naked or to be able to do something, I'm not saying I want to be a porn star, but I'm saying that seems like a really easy job considering like by the time I'm 26, if I don't have a good career, I'm honestly thinking about it.
Tell you what, the girls make bank, so you know it is a career to consider, but it is a profession, and I think that's a lot something, you know, people don't realize. It's an absolute profession. Here in Queensland, it is legalized, not decriminalized. So you know, there's two south of the border, 30 miles from here, it's decriminalized, so it's completely different culture down there. But here in Queensland, where it's legalized, they're like little boutique hotels, right? 5 rooms, no more than 8 girls on at any time. You know, nice, classy. Well, mine is a nice, classy establishment. And going there, people ask me all the time. They call up, they're first timers. You know, they'll get on the website chat and they're like, "I've never been there. What do I expect?" And I tell them it's like checking into a hotel, but instead of, you know, paying for the night, you're paying for the hour, and you're in comes with a girl of your choice. So it really is just like checking into a hotel. It's a lovely place.
Would you consider like that probably the numbers of people visiting have gone up or gone down in just recent years?
Interesting. I'm quite new to the industry. I've only been there less than a year, so my enthusiasm still knows no bounds. But I can tell you that pre-COVID, you know, it was quite steady. It was quite standard. Post-COVID, the day we opened those doors, there were men around the block. You know what I mean? There was you know, a whole lot of people there that had to, you know, they missed us. We were closed for 3 months, and people really noticed.
Do you know, is it kind of like a little bit like, I would say when it comes to like building a relationship with the girls, for instance, like people have the ones that they always choose with, the ones that they're used to, the ones that they get familiar with and kind of establish a connection. A lot of the times I feel like a lot of it probably besides just sex has to be a lot of talking too, just because, I mean, building that relationship is like, you know, you go to a strip club, you find some person that ends up taking a girl into the back room. They just sit there and talk the whole time. It's like you just spent 50 grand on just talking. It was like, because I think we all need that. We all are trying to establish a connection, not only when it comes to physical sex, but it also comes into just a human connection, finding someone that's going to listen to you and take the time to. And that's where I see this as like, a lot of people are going to be like, that's crazy. This industry's whatever, disgusting. I'm like, it's not really though, because if you look at it, it's
not at all.
And it's
the oldest profession, you know,
yeah.
It's the oldest profession on earth. There is no profession older than that of a prostitute.
But it's like,
other than maybe a politician.
And politicians are the ones that end up probably going to brothel houses.
Yeah. We don't comment on our clients.
So how did you decide to get involved into this industry?
I moved back to Australia from Las Vegas about 18 months ago, and I asked for the job. I became really interested in it because Las Vegas is just filled with beautiful, glamorous women who do this in one way or another, you know. And I came back to Queensland where it's, you know, illegal, and just cold called every brothel on the Gold Coast and said, you know, I've just come back to the country. I'm super interested in your industry. Can I come in for an interview? And I got a whole bunch of no's and 2 yeses. And I went to the first one and it was so seedy. It was gross. It was probably everything you're imagining in your head. You know, you walk in and there's hardcore porn playing every which way you look. And there's, you know, less than desirable women sort of hanging around. And I didn't love it, but I figured they can't all be like that, you know. So I went to this other one and it was the fucking nicest place I've ever seen. It was really surprising, you know. It's a beautiful little boutique hotel.
I guess it seems
and
a
they
little
gave me the
easier.
job on the spot.
It seems a little easier in my mind if you can put it in like in a really nice like Marriott Suites hotel, like where you walk in, there's like nothing that resembles a porn, like no stripper cages or anything, but something that resembles like, can I just get this room? And you go up to a hotel room and then someone shows up, you know what I mean? But everything from what media and all these things play it as turns into this nasty like motel or some types of things with cockroaches on the floor where a guy's like, oh yeah, I know what you're here for. That'll be $50 and 20 extra so I don't have to tell anybody.
Right. No, it's nothing like that at all. I think it really surprises sort of everyone that walks in that hasn't been to one before.
Do you think
we get our regulars? We get guys that come, you know, 2 or 3 times a week.
Do you think that, I guess, from starting into this industry, like posting on social media, because you're pretty open about it, that's a rough thing for a lot of people to be open about their sexuality, you know, even in now times. It's like, hold on a second, I've been to a porn store one time, okay, I ran into my 4th grade teacher, so that was a big change in my life. But everyone does it, but like people are either afraid or don't want to talk about it or so stigmatized in today's world. And I'm like, hang on a second, you know, that person masturbates, you know, that person has sex. How do you think you were born? You were created that way. It's like, but we still kind of hold it to bars. So when it comes to social media and you're posting on your profile about like, hey, I own a brothel or I manage a brothel or something. Do you ever get a lot of crap from a lot of people that are like, this is feminism or something like that? I'm like, that's not what that is.
Not yet. I haven't. Everyone's just been so supportive and so curious about it. So I haven't had any backlash, but there will be, you know, there will be backlash. There are people that don't like this. And there are people that are going to have a big problem with it. But overall, I think, especially here in Australia, we might be a little bit more open to the idea of it. Having spent so much time in America, you know, and I'm not about to shit on your country. I love America with all my heart. God bless it. But you guys kind of are sexually repressed. You know, you can't show nipples on TV. You can't talk about it. You know,
yeah, the only time you're ever safe is when the only time you're ever safe is when like your door's locked and you just end up, you know, cross-dressing or something like that. I'm like, why don't you just if you be open about it, like nobody's going to care. The reason why it's so stigmatized is because you hold it to bar so far.
That's it. And, you know, it has no taboo with me. It has no stigma with me. You know, fly that freak flag, whatever. People have sex. People need sex. Men need sex. It's a fundamental need that humans have, and we provide it, you know.
And especially if you look at like, for instance, like a lot of the generation that's coming up now, and a lot of like, there's just a lot of people that are like going in their 30s without even having sex for the first time. Mostly just because of the whole fear aspect. I mean, first of all, sex education in the world, or at least in our country, is dog shit. I don't like, I think it scared me more than anything. I was like, that looks like the thing from Star Wars, the Rancor pit, the giant mouth with the claws coming out of it. I was like,
Right?
that's what they were describing it as. And then once you do it, it's like the best advice I ever got after my health teacher filled me all this bullshit of how it's like, there's diseases, there's this, your dick will fall off. It always fell back to the dick falling off. I'm like, geez, like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I remember before we left that class, she goes, by the way, a good tip of advice for you guys is it's lower than you think. And that was the best fucking information I had ever received. But
God bless that teacher.
that's like always the thing though in media, is that the factor of like, it's got to be, well, we got to give him the talk, he's thinking about it, and then it's just this awkward thing. It's like, why don't
very much awkward, you know, they portray it as something that's to be feared and to be, you know, not spoken about, and when you do speak about it, you use cutesy words and hushed tones, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a fact of life. It's just it's a non-issue, and it really baffles me that people make it into such an issue. All of those people that have made it into an issue absolutely go out and bang their little hearts out, you know. Not one of them has ever not had sex. So I don't get where the hypocrisy and the stigma really comes from. It's the selling of it that they don't like, you know, it's the transaction.
Which is weird because that is considered illegal in a lot of states in the country, the transaction money for sex. But then if we're just filming it and then we're making a video,
totally different.
That's fucking legal, which is like, what the, like, I get it, because I think the idea that they're thinking of is that it's the same thing with making weed legal everywhere, which is like getting harder and harder to do. They just think like, we're going to have a drug-filled society. Everybody's on drugs. And that's the same thing with sex. It's like, we're going to have sleuths and all these things hanging around on the streets. You're going to see your grandma in panty liners on the like, no, it won't be like that. Honestly, if you made it legal, there wouldn't be so many people that were going and trying to do it and then getting arrested for it and trying to keep it so secret.
Yeah. People are going to do it regardless of the laws. Like, you know, like we said, oldest profession, people are always going to do it. They may as well make the tax dollars on it. They're foolish not to.
What would you consider the biggest misconceptions are?
That the girls are there for, you know, reasons other than they want to be. I think, I mean, obviously some girls are there because they have reoccurring financial transactions that need to be made. But, you know, I interviewed Andy Adams recently, Australia's princess of porn and not so clandestine courtesan. And she's a girl at our work, and she's there because she loves dick. You know, she loves it. She loves her work. She loves, you know, she loves every dick she's ever met. She fucking loves it. So she's there because she wants to be. I heard this rumor about one of the girls at another brothel who's a well-regarded psychologist. And she has her own practice and patients and all of that, and she comes in and hoes you know, a couple of days a week for the love of the game. She likes it. She's a very, very accomplished woman. I worked with a girl last night, Georgina. She's about to finish her law degree. She's the fucking smartest woman I've ever met. These
mostly like a female, I guess, people that work there, and also is it a mostly male clientele, or is there a lot of female people that go there looking for male sex?
Oh no, we get a handful of females. You know, couples, we will never turn them away. We get couples, we get females, we get, you know, men on men and all the rest. We don't have any men working for us. It's owned by a man. Other than that, all the staff are women. Everyone there is a woman. So it's essentially run by women. Clientele are obviously all men. And you'd be surprised at the type of people that come in. I was expecting old seedy men with, you know, ill intentions and things like that, but they're all young, they're all handsome, they're all so much fun. You know, we get so many young, handsome guys in at 4:30 in the morning on a Saturday and a Sunday, you know, once all the clubs close.
Wait, so I'm thinking like Joe Biden types are rolling up to your doorstep, and now you're saying
not even close.
Really, like Matthew McConaughey's?
Oh yeah, we've had some absolute honeys come through. They're all genuinely young, and a disproportionate amount of Kiwi men. And the girls love the Kiwi men because
they're Kiwi man?
Shy. A guy from New Zealand, Kiwis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I was thinking like a dude that sells fruit on the freeway, like Kiwi men. I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
No, we got a guy that comes in and sells us strawberries that he picks from his farm and brings straight to us, but he never sees the girls. He just brings us fruit.
That's a good thing to use. I'm about to say, if he All right, that'd be a good tool to use in the bedroom. Be like, here's some strawberries I'm bringing. You ever have people bring in like random like things from home? Like I have this or that.
Oh, you want to hear a story?
I do.
Okay, this never happened while I was there. This is something my boss told me. But this man came in once with a cheeseburger. And he asked for 3 girls, and he had this big fistful of money. So the girls went in and introduced themselves. You know, they all go in individually to meet the guy so he can choose. And these 3 girls went in, and he asked them if they would please shit on this cheeseburger for him for $2,000. And that's all he wanted. So they agreed. They went upstairs. They did what they did. He wrapped up his cheeseburger lovingly and left. Tipped really well. So.
Damn. Okay.
Sink in.
I am, and see, here's the thing. Somebody was going to pay me to do that. I probably would. So I'm not going to lie.
$2,000. Why wouldn't you? I wouldn't, because women
Just
don't prove
take
my opinion.
I wish I got paid for my shits. Are you kidding me? I would be making bank right now.
Right. Something to consider if you ever decide on a career change.
What? All right. Do you have any?
Give me a call. I'll hook you up. I know. I know.
Do you have any stories that are something that was really interesting to you and also very scary for you? Because it seems like you're pretty, like, for me, like that creeped me out, but for you, it's like normal. So I'm guessing you've just been so around it so much.
Yeah. It's an absolute non-issue. You get desensitized immediately. Like, I'm talking days, and you start to have to really watch what you say around like polite company and dinner, conversations and stuff. I was at a barbecue recently, and I was talking about this job that the girls had done that day, this group sex kind of thing. And I looked up and everyone's just looking at me shocked. So, after a while, you really have to watch your language.
It's kind of like being a medical professional, and then you start seeing people die. It's like, I'm so used to it all the time.
Yeah. But I do have a story that happened recently. It didn't happen to me. It happened at another brothel in town, but I do know the manager it happened to. And these 2 guys came in, and one started ODing on fantasy, which is a sedative, right? It brings your heart right down. It slows you right down. And he was basically going into cardiac arrest on the floor in the lobby. And no one knew what to do. No one particularly wanted to call an ambulance because, there is so much paperwork. Anyway, I would have called an ambulance. But so this guy's ODing on the ground, and his mate pulls out, meth, ice, and a meth pipe, and just starts smoking in the lobby and blows it into his mouth to get his heart started again. And I'll be damned if it didn't work,
Well,
isn't that insane?
Yes, next, you don't even need a defibrillator. You just need a meth pipe.
Right? So, that's probably one of the most outlandish things I have heard recently.
All right, besides the cheeseburger, what's the weirdest thing you've ever come across?
We have a guy that we actually had to ask him to stop contacting us. He likes
hold on. Wait, you had to tell him you're too much for this brothel. Yeah. Stop coming.
It was coming at me, like it was coming at the office girls, not the girls. They will put up with anything you throw at them. But people tend to get a little bit infatuated with the office staff sometimes. Especially when they're, endearing and fun and they're helping them through this, time. But we had to ask him to stop because he was obsessed with showing us his micro penis. He would email us 12 times a day and call us constantly and like get on the chat and just be like, if I come in, would you mind just, looking at my dick and telling me how small and pathetic it is? All I want is for you guys to see how stupid my dick is. And he just went on and on and on about it. All he wanted was people to look at his tiny little micro penis and tell him how absolutely awful it was.
Damn, I really want to talk to that guy.
Yeah. I can give you his email address.
I want to fucking know what goes through the mind that people develop that way. Because, I work at a gym, and I tell you, I've worked out for so long at my other gym, but then once I got this job, first day, I've never seen so much old man dick in my entire life. That it's
God,
too much.
You're telling me.
It's too much for I don't mean to, but it's like I walk into the bathroom as you're turning the corner, there's just an old guy just drying himself off in the middle of the locker room in front of everybody, and I'm like, and then what the weird thing is, The next day, they come into the gym and I'm working front desk or something. They go, good morning. And I'm just looking at them like, you motherfucker. Like, there's
You
shit.
need to get more resilient.
Like, damn, like, I can't look at you the same, bro. Like, you know, you end up finding he's got grandkids and shit. It's like, I don't ever want to, I don't even see,
It's funny. I have to see a lot of dicks at work because we do health checks on the guys, you know, before they engage with the girls. So the girls have to examine them under a special light just for any, you know, STIs or anything transferable. And if they're unsure about something, they ask us, the office staff, to come up and, you know, give them a second opinion. So I see so much dick. So much dick in real life and on social media. You would not believe the amount of dick pics I've been getting. I'm talking hundreds, thousands. It's limitless.
Are they just asking, like, do you think this is okay? Because that's probably, I don't send dick pics, but I feel like I have questions about my own.
No, they're not even doing that. It's just like they'll start a conversation. Hey, how you doing? How's your day? Bam, dick, and just continue talking. It's just like a little stealth dick attack. It's weird. It's rude. It's rude. I've started scolding them. What would your mother say?
Yeah, like, I don't think I could ever, like, people I know talk about, like, oh my God, my dick pic went out. I'm like, dude, why would you even send one in the first place? You should know the person. First of all, if you're sending anything to somebody's phone, you got to know that they're screenshotting and saving that shit immediately.
Yeah, right. But there's so many. What am I going to do with 9,000 dick pics? You know, just let them go.
Keep swiping and trying to get through them all.
Yeah, rate them. I might start a website like rate this cock.
Rate the dick. Perfect. Rate the dick out of a 10.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question. So this is the big one. If you were gonna interview me to become a person involved in this industry, how would you go about that? Like, what was your interview process through?
My interview process was pretty, easy. It was basic office kind of interview. They do ask a lot of questions like how you feel about it. Do you have a partner? How does he feel about it? So I would ask you those sorts of questions unless you're a girl, in which case I have to ask, what your kinks are. Do you do anal? Do you do couples?
Wait, so a guy can't do anal?
Work? No, a guy can do anal. What do you mean?
You said that you were going to ask different questions if I was a girl. So I'm like, you don't ask those questions to the guy?
Oh, yeah, true. You're a guy. You're not a girl interviewing to me. We've never interviewed men. We won't have, my boss is a very big believer in not having, men sort of working there.
Is that just because, like, it seems more as like a feminine industry, I would say?
Definitely. And we have a reputation for providing really beautiful women. Our women are just so gorgeous. They're really attractive.
I don't know why.
So I think a man might ruin that.
I think I got upset by that because I was literally like, wait a minute. So you're telling me I can't work here? Like, that's how
you can't work with me. I got a guy you can work with. Don't you worry, baby. I will sort you out. If you want a job, I will get you one.
Now I'm really scared. What would you, because I know you do the podcast too, which I kind of want to give you a chance to be able to promote that as well.
Oh God.
Do you focus on brothels, like going around looking at different versions and seeing how they compare? Or do you just focus on like kind of a lot of the educating the people on there's this thing that you shouldn't be afraid of? It's something that, it's real. It's like going to Vegas and you find out, strippers. And like when I first saw strippers when I was 14, I was like, whoa, like they do this for money? And I'm thinking like, why don't I get on there and make some money,
Do you think you could pull off one of those outfits?
Honestly,
what would your stripper name be? You actually already have Robbie Robertson. That is an absolutely fucking fantastic porn star name. So you're halfway there.
I got my stripper name.
What is it? Yeah, hit me.
Call it Buttercream Frosting.
Wow.
That was my nickname in high school.
I like that. Was it really?
No.
I can see how you would be a Buttercream Frosting.
Call me Buttercream. So why? Can you imagine that though? I've honestly fantasized about it a few times. I don't think I could pull off the heels, but I definitely could, like, if you gave me like some board shorts. And what's really weird is like I'm body
and funnies.
I'm body dysmorphic, so like taking off my shirt, like I have to wait for the shower to heat up all the way to fog up the mirror. But
so you can't see yourself.
Yeah, but then if I can do it if like I'm in a strip club, like if I know money's involved, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, take it off, get all those dollar bills, you
People would
know.
be throwing pennies at me. They'd be like, all right, and fucking getting pelted with
Hey,
George
in
Washington
for
quarters.
in for a penny, in for a pounding, you know, why not?
This is awesome because I was so excited to do this podcast because I was like, I've never ever out of everyone I've talked to anybody involved in this industry, and I was like, I thought it was so illegal, but then I'm looking up like what are the misconceptions behind it, and like it's so weird from how the world kind of, at least in America, shows you that it's this thing that's supposed to be like done in like the shadows of the world, like the scum or everything of society.
Mm.
It's like it's not really like that though, and the fact that we make it like that is the issue. Like, I mean, everybody has sex. It's like you need to kind of be more spoken about it. And that's what I mean, it relates to even politics if you want. The whole factor
That's
of
right, it is. The whole thing is about politics.
if you just were honest about your shit, if everybody was more open and we weren't so secretive as people holding on to these things and then it breaks out and we find about it later, we're so
Mm.
angry. I'm like, you wouldn't be angry if they were just open about it. Hey, my name's Joe.
I don't know, like sometimes you got to keep those things private. My porn habits will go to the grave with me.
I don't
I will.
I don't think I've ever really watched a full porn before.
Whoever watches a full porn, you get 90 seconds, 2 minutes, you know, you're done.
I don't honestly. I'm not even that interested in it. I don't like that. I don't know what it is. Not even girl on girl, guy on girl. I'll be 100% honest. I've never really sat like if I ever, which I like plan that shit out. I'm like I need to masturbate this day. You know, every 3
You
months
have
or
a schedule?
I try to. I just never get the urge because I either work out all the time, so I just burn it all off. So I just never feel like
Yeah,
that.
true.
Yeah.
If you're always sort of burning, then you've got no desire to. Also, if you're satisfied, you know, because it is a stress release. So if you're not particularly stressed or, you know,
And
unsatisfied, then
people say food's like sex. I'm like, no, it's not.
no, it's not. Food is not like sex.
No, it's not even close. I
Food is
mean, you
not
can
like sex
involve it
at
into the
all.
bedroom. Have you ever had that happen?
We do at work, you know, we got cans of whipped cream and stuff in the fridge, or the girls will bring their own body chocolate whipped cream, things like that. Strawberries, you're right. Strawberries, you said before, it's a great aid.
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Pineapple is good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I want like a tray of like saltine crackers with like a little slices of cheese or something.
Yeah, like a meat platter. You think we should just bring platters around to the guys before they start the job?
Do you ever have to bring
Thing
back
is,
like juice boxes, like toss them into the rooms and shit?
no, I bring a lot of water up. We bring a lot of water up, you know, because they come in drunk or whatever. So I'm always running around with water for them.
There's got to be a big
Um,
like issue when it comes to like making sure everybody's safe too. The whole factor of not when it just comes down to actual safe sex or whatever, when it, you know, making sure that nobody has a disease or something, but also like overhydrate or like hydration issues. You got to focus on that. You got to focus on, you know, if someone's too drunk, if someone's on drugs or something like that, and their heart gets too fast, next, you know, they have a heart attack, and then there's just a whole emergency thing.
yeah. For the most part, they're pretty good. You know, we're open 24/7, so you get the nighttime guys who are usually like that, but the daytime guys are totally different, and then the evening guys again are totally different. So
You're
you know,
open
it depends on the time of
24/7.
day. We are open 24/7. We only close for a couple of hours on Christmas morning so we can all go to church. But other than that, we never close.
Do you find people are going there on the holidays more than regular days just because of the fact of needing like closeness?
I don't know. I haven't worked on a big holiday yet. Father's Day, we were very quiet. We didn't have a single, you know, we had maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, less actually. So no, I don't know. I guess everyone was with their kids on Father's Day.
Honestly, that's where I would want to go if it was like Christmas and I was alone. It's like you just want the company.
Mm. Yeah, I'm sure it does happen. We had Pepper, her first night with us. Pepper's one of my favorite girls. She did a 9-hour booking with a guy, and all they did was like hang out and watch movies and order Uber Eats and, you know, hold hands and stuff.
That's got to be the fun ones too. But then you probably have some girls that really like I don't want to do this. I want to get down and dirty.
Yeah, they want to do a job. They're professionals, you know. They want to do the job. But obviously they love those bookings as well. She made a lot of money. It's $250 an hour, so 250
Holy
times 9
shit.
plus. Yeah.
I would have to save up all my quarters.
It's worth it. Some of those girls are absolutely worth it.
What's the best name you've come across? Like, do all of them use a real name, or some of them make them?
Oh no, they've all got made up names. No one will use their real names. Andy Adams, I like her name. I like alliteration, your name, lover, alliteration. Pepper, I think, Chili, they've all got names like that.
I think you're the first person I met that actually likes my name. Thank you.
No, it's a cool name. I love it. Alliteration.
Everyone
all my
literally goes,
tweets and Facebook posts.
Everyone literally goes, your parents named you. Do they just hate you? Like, is that what it is? I'm like, no.
John Johnson, that's a cool name too. Pete Peterson.
Those are porno names, man.
And what do you think your name is?
That's fucking true. You know what's crazy is a month before, so what happened with Ron Jeremy, a month before he got arrested, I was in contact with him to get him on this podcast. He was like, yeah, reach out in like 3 weeks. I reach out and then I see the court thing and I'm like, no, why?
That's a shame. He would have been awesome to interview.
I just had so many questions because, like, I mean, I turned it into a bit, but I had a doctor that tried to get me into porn when I was like 18 years old. It's a lot darker of a story than I play it out to be.
That doesn't sound like a bright, fun story to begin with.
But like a lot of people are like, no way,
insidious.
Your doctor tried to get you into porn. Yeah, he's in jail now. But it was like this thing where I was like, I'm so polite where I'm just like, not now, but maybe if I'm 26 and I don't have a career in anything, I could think about doing it. But honestly, it's where I'm thinking about really, I could just shoot a porn, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, that seems like funner, easier thing. And so many people that just spend their days in an office with a tie on, I'm like, that just fucking seems like your soul is dead.
Yeah, right. That doesn't sound fun at all. Make a porn. Do it. I would watch it. I would absolutely watch your porn.
You would just watch it for moral support. You wouldn't enjoy it.
Oh, obviously, you got to boost up your friends, Robbie.
Can I just freaking
probably enjoy it? I got some girls you could work with. Let me know when you're filming. I'll send you one. Do
you find that like a lot of young kids come in there, or is it mostly an older clientele?
Young guys, definitely. Definitely disproportionately young. 20 kind of upwards to other young ages. Really young, really handsome, really cool.
It's I feel, because my thought is, you ever heard of what incels are?
Yeah, I know what incels are. Yeah, and I have a lot of views on this.
Yeah, that's what gets me is like, I think this is a good thing for them to show them that like they are loved. I think a lot of people have this really bad distorted perception of themselves. And I think that's just because with social media, everything, like even when we were talking, it was like you had to kind of get ready to be on camera and stuff. It's like, it sucks just because we judge so much on looks. And that's where like it creates this giant demon where like kids, that are coming up now are afraid to even have sex, not only on how bad of education there's involved in it, but just the fear of, everybody's judging me, everybody's thinking of me, everybody's this and that. And then it's like, this is a good thing for them if they want someone to literally walk them through, like, hey, like even when you message me, like I know you got questions, boo. I was like, yeah, she's fucking taking me by the hand right now and she's gonna walk me through this and show me insight into her life. And I was like, that is what I think is needed most of the time, is that like
100%. Yeah, they do. I'm a big believer in every man needs sex. Every man has to, it is absolutely ingrained in you guys. Incels, just little boys that need some loving, you know what I mean? They just need to be loved. Combat veterans, I think regular access to legalized sex would be just wonderful for PTSD and suicide rates and things like that. The Scandinavian countries do it really well. They actually subsidize sex and give, disabled people or long-term singles vouchers so they can go see sex workers or companions a couple of times a year. So it is absolutely essential to mental health and development, I think. I mean, if you're not being held and told that, you're loved when you're 20, then that's going to like do things to you,
Do you ever have, so how legal is it in Australia?
It's very legal. There's different levels to it. All of the girls are sole traders, so they don't actually work for anyone but themselves. Street prostitution is illegal, so you can't go, hustle on the street. Escorting is legal, I believe. Outcalls from a brothel aren't legal, but brothels themselves are legal. But there are so many rules and stipulations involved in it. Location, you can't be within, I think it's 2 kilometers of a school or a church or a residential area. Everyone needs licenses. The background check I had to do to get my manager's license was more full on than any security clearance I've ever done. You know, they went right into my history and all of my friends and all of my family to make sure I had no ties to anything nefarious or gangs or bikies or things like that.
Do you ever come across like the background? Because I took a background check to be in a casino where they did like a
Yeah.
extensive like judicial system, legislation, all these types of things, making sure I never got a ticket on anything. And then like I ended up going through that and then ended up leaving like a week later. I was just the dumbest.
You didn't like working in a casino?
I can't do a suit, man. The whole uniform type thing.
You don't want to do a suit? You would look real good in a suit.
It's
real good.
I like loose flowing clothing, things that don't constrict onto my. I mean, I have a six pack, but it's like anything that like I always wear big jackets 24/7, so you can't tell. I mean, but being body dysmorphic, it's just like that's just how anything that involves a belt or a suit or anything, it immediately I feel like I'm out of place, like out of a shell.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I often feel like mutton dressed as lamb between me and you, you know. But you just gotta, you know, embrace the suck, grin and bear it.
Now, I do want to mention, because I brought up before about the podcast. So tell me a little bit about your podcast.
Okay, so it's just started. We're in post-production at the moment. We've done 2 episodes. It's called the Brothel Tour. My boss came up with that name. And it's just going to be about, you know, the adult sex industry and sex in general and the need for prostitutions and all things sort of related to that, be it in Australia or around the world. I interviewed Andy Adams the other day. She's absolutely wonderful. She's a porn star and a courtesan at work. But there are just so many different elements to, you know, the adult industry. Many different things.
When you do like, okay, well, hold on. Give me a few things that are involved in the adult industry, because I'm still like, to me, involving toys in there is like a big no for me.
Involving toys in a brothel?
Well, I mean, involving toys in a bedroom at all is just a big no for me.
Oh, really? We have a sex store at work. Wow, Robbie, you got to broaden your horizons. You come see me next time you're in Australia.
I walked into the sex store, saw my 4th grade teacher, said, I'm done, and I walked out.
That's fair. That would have an impact. That would absolutely have an impact on you.
The guy that I knew to love Garfield. Like all he would talk about is Garfield was buying.
Do you remember what he was buying?
Oh yeah, double-sided fucking dildo, and I've never in my life been so afraid. I didn't even know they made that. It's like nunchucks.
That's funny. I've been trying to get all my friends to come into work. You know, all my single guy friends, or the married ones, or you know, whoever. But none of them will, because they think it's weird that, you know, they'll go and bang these chicks, and I'm sort of, you know, there. People have got to get over that. It's a transaction.
Yeah, but at least you're not the one cleaning up. Do you have somebody that cleans up afterwards?
The girls clean up after themselves. You know, they clean the bedroom and wipe everything down and, you know, disinfect it and all. And we have a laundry. We are constantly doing laundry. We bleach just everything. Constant laundry.
Fuck, I worked at a hotel and I had to do laundry. I remember I would come across things like, oh no, not in the hotel, not in the hotel.
Oh God, I had to clean out the bins in the room the other day, the clinical waste disposal bins in the room the other day, and it was just the most dreadful thing. So bad. So many condoms. Oh, it was horrible. You should see the amount we go through at work. We buy them in bulk, these great big boxes of them. Thousands of them.
I'll never forget when I was 16 and I forgot where I was at. I was at somebody's house. It was like a party or something. I was ruffling through trying to find my bag. And I remember I lifted up some covers and I had touched a condom. And my fucking hand went numb.
Oh.
I don't know what it was, but my fucking fingertips.
Are you allergic to latex?
No, I'm not. But I don't know what it was about that specific one. I touched it and my the tips of my fingers felt like numb. I was like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Oh, I got a story for you. Okay. This happened obviously before my time. But there was this girl that used to work at the brothel as a girl, and she had this client one night that she declined to see because he was a little weird. So he left and became obsessed with her and like started following her everywhere and everything. And she ran into him at a nightclub one night, and he came up to her and he was kissing her and like rubbing up against her and stuff. And she kind of, you know, disengaged and left and broke out the next day in this rash from head to toe, this really bad rash. So she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, what the fuck have you been doing? And she told him the story, and he said, you got to find him. He's like, this is a rash that only grows on dead bodies and corpses. He's been, you know, interfering, or he's been around dead bodies and corpses.
He works at a morgue.
So they works at a morgue, contacted QPS. They went to his house and found just stacks of, you know, bodies that he'd taken home. I don't know if it was stacks, it was a couple. It was enough, you know, for him to be doing things to them to get this rash to give it to this girl.
I said he works at a morgue. So you'd be like, yeah, that's his career. That's why he has when he goes to work. But then you're like, no, he takes the fucking bodies home.
Yeah.
That's fucking
wild. Hey, so they found him and found the bodies, and it was a happy ending in the end.
Damn, would you consider that to be the weirdest thing that involves sex, is having sex with a dead body?
Necrophilia, 100%. I cannot think of anything more weird than necrophilia.
The best, honestly,
except maybe the stuff Albert Fish used to do, but that's just...
Who's Albert Fish?
Remember that serial killer? Chicago, I think. He was very sexually deviant. I don't know if you want to hear the things he used to do.
There's fucking
I don't think I want to talk about him.
Sam Kinison has one of the best jokes, and people say that it's like it's stupid because it's like punching down. I'm like, it was about necrophiliacs or whatever. It was about having sex with dead corpses. He was like, life fucks you in the ass long after you're dead, and it was like him banging a dead corpse in the street. And I'm like, that's funny. Like, if you think about it, like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're dead. Like, imagine being in heaven, and he's like, the guy sitting there like, welcome, my son. And he goes, thank you. And he goes, what is that? What's hitting me? And then he's getting fucked in the street. It's like, that's perfect. Like, that's a good joke, but people hate that. I'm like, I don't know.
It's too dark, you know. It's too dark, like dead baby jokes. People think they're in poor taste.
Yeah, there was that guy that cracked a joke about, it was right after the mother drowned her 3 kids. And then he just comes out and says, I heard those were bad kids. Yeah, you shouldn't have said it, but I get where he was coming from. But
you know, I mean, a joke's a joke sometimes. Sometimes they might be too early, but it's still, people will laugh at it later. Maybe.
I think when you hold something or you get so angry, like, you know, a lot of people that get involved and say, like, you know, you don't, like, there was a giant thing that started happening because with all the pedophile stuff that started coming out about trafficking and stuff. And I worked at a hotel, and that was our major signs to try and figure out which ones, you know, or is this a trafficking incident or something.
That's really cool.
People toss that, but I was, when I was listening to it, I never truly fully sunk it in until recently, as like I've been this past like couple of years, I've been trying to, you know, understand more perspective of like a parent's perspective and stuff, and understand all these, how serious these issues are. And I think what's weird is that people are going to start really trying to go from that and then take down an industry like yours, considering that those women are being tricked or brainwashed into performing this way. It's like, not 100%, not every single person involved has daddy issues, mommy issues, family issues. A lot of them are there because they have this thing inside of them that they want to release, and this is the best form for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a profession, it's a job, you know, they have their checks, and you know, for some of them it's a career. Some girls have been in the industry for like 10 years or so, and it doesn't look like they're leaving anytime soon. But to go back to that trafficking thing, just after I started, my boss asked me to track down every illegal brothel on the Gold Coast, like all the rub and tugs, you know, because obviously they steal business from us. So for a couple of weeks there, I was tracking down all of these illegal ones, and I think I found 38 sort of scattered around the Gold Coast.
Shit.
Yeah, I know. So they're the ones that they need to shut down, because they're the girls that are being, I mean, I don't want to say they're the girls that are being trafficked, but they have the potential, you know, to be girls in need or girls that don't necessarily want to be there. So by eliminating that, you know, you have industries where you interview the girls before they, you know, come in, and you provide a safe haven for them to do sex work. So the trafficking, you know, the illegal brothels and everything, they're the ones that they're the ones that you got to watch out for.
When, like, for instance, for the girls that get chosen, are they chosen by you, or are they chosen by your owner?
The girls that get chosen to work there?
Yeah.
Or we very rarely turn a girl away. If she wants to work, then, you know, we'll let her work. Unless she's obviously, you know, sick or dependent on something, you know what I mean?
But it's more open. It's not like you
Crackheads,
have to be,
yeah.
you know, you don't have to be a Kate Upton or somebody coming in there.
Oh, no. If a girl wants to work, we will let her work. Absolutely. Everyone has a preference. It doesn't matter what you look like or who you are. Someone will find you attractive. Someone will want to bang you. It straight up does not matter.
Do you find that, like, let's say if like I was going to go in and choose a girl, if I say I like this, want this done, want this done, want this done, and then I choose a girl, or do you guys try and find the one that best suits what I want?
No, I will always ask the guys if they call me or if I'm chatting to them. I'll always ask them their preference so I can recommend girls to them. But when they come in, I take them to an interview room, an intro room we call it, and shut the door, and they're there with this nice little couch, and the girls will come in one by one, and they have a chance to discuss what they want, and meet the girls, and then I'll go back in and they'll tell me who they want, and then I'll take their money and they'll go upstairs.
This
Just
might
like
be
a hotel, but you get to choose a girl.
this might be that's what we call room service. That's what we
Yeah, right.
But this might be a dumb kind of statement, but are you very empathetic? Because I feel like if you're interviewing people, you would have to get a very good sense of a person's personality, or like something that would stop me, like, this person's not right, there's something wrong here.
Yes, I'm very intuitive and I'm very empathetic. But it's not up to me to decide if they want to work, or the girls will pretty much see anyone that comes in unless it's an obviously violent or sick man. But you do have to have a lot of empathy. You do have to have a lot of intuition, but you can't have too much as well, because you do hear a lot of horror stories coming from the girls about their past, and it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job. These girls are doing a very physical and emotionally draining job, and some will see 20 clients a day, I
What's the
think our
longest,
record is
like,
22.
you said 22 sessions? How long of a time is that?
It depends. We do half hour, 45 minutes, and an hour. So it depends on how long you want. So it's $160 for half an hour, 200 for 45, and 250 for the hour. That's just the standard service. So that's just basic sex, oral sex, and a massage.
Hold on.
Anything above and beyond, you can talk to the girls about.
Is this like picking a cable package? Like, what are the
Yeah.
packages I can buy?
It's exactly like picking a cable package. Do you want 2 girls? Do you want to go in with your buddy? Do you want to extend? Do you want the girlfriend experience, the porn star experience? Do you want the mummy experience?
Oh,
Yeah, there's so many different things. It's a package deal,
what about furries?
No,
No.
I don't think we have any furries. I saw a bunch of them in Venice Beach once, this little furry convention. They were dancing on the pier. It was real weird.
I really am trying to get one of them on here. I want to get more people from this industry on here, because I feel like sex is like a big thing that's kind of like very, very stigmatized. I see that as being like canceled next, where people are going to be really, really afraid. Like, porn shops are going to close and all this stuff. Like, there was protests in my town in front of that one porn store I mentioned. I'm like, I'm not going to go there, but there's just people protesting thinking that's, I'm like, I fucking saw that same dude that's protesting in there last week. Like,
exactly.
Like, my ex-girlfriend,
they don't even know why they're protesting.
my ex-girlfriend works there, and she's just constantly like, like monitoring cameras and working the front desk, and she'll send like a Snapchat like, this person's fucking protesting but was in here last week buying this. And I'm like, what the everyone's a fucking hypocrite. Yeah.
They're hypocrites. It's like the politicians that say no sex, no prostitution, and then get caught with a girl, in their car. They're hypocrites.
I always talk about finding what makes you really, really uncomfortable, and then really kind of diving into it to eliminate that uncomfortability. Maybe I need to get a job at a sex shop, because I honestly
absolutely, or go to a brothel.
Fuck.
Do it. Come over here. I will take you to mine. You'll have the best. I'll give you a gift certificate, okay?
I get a gift certificate.
Yeah. I'll send you one after this is over. Give me your address, and I'll send you a gift certificate and some merch.
Dude, I am actually 100% down, which is funny because I'm actually traveling probably in the next month. I'm going to try and hit every spot where I guess I've podcasted with someone from another country or another state. So I'm going to be gone for like almost like close to like 7 months or so, where I'm just going to visit everybody for like a week or two. Yeah, I mean,
that sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah, all right. I guess I'll have to come to Australia. I had a few people I got to
Do
meet out
it.
there. You're gonna have to.
You won't be able to get in for a while. Our borders are very, very shut. They're very shut.
I'm
So
a good smooth talker.
you
Can do it.
reckon
I
you can
I
talk your way
can
past the
run it.
federal government?
I've talked my way out of TSA when I had needles in my backpack, and that was because my cousin's
Oh
a
God.
diabetic. So that's a
Yeah,
backstory onto that.
yeah. I
No
often
cavity
travel with
search here.
needles.
I'll save that for the brothel. No cavity search here.
Have you? Yeah, we do that. You know, it costs a little extra, but if they want it done, who are we to say no?
Have you ever had an emergency scenario where you had to call 911 because someone had to go to the hospital from something that was involved in foreplay or something?
No,
Okay.
and not that I know of. Not in my time. It's only a matter of time. We got panic buttons in all the rooms and everything. So if the
What?
girl feels uncomfortable or it's
Is it
weird,
better
they just smash
security
the
than the
panic button.
bank?
They can't get in or out without me. You know, I have to buzz the door open to let them in, and they can't leave the building unless I buzz them out. So we do have good security, panic buttons everywhere, you know, security cameras everywhere except in the room. Very good security.
I like that, honestly, to be 100% honest with you. It's just the factor of, like, I get it. People don't want cameras in the rooms because, like, that whole, like, privacy issue.
Oh
But
yeah,
also, I like the safety factor because I feel like that's a giant thing of what people are afraid of, is that it's unsafe for a lot of people.
oh, it's so safe. The girls get to screen the guys before they go in. So if it's someone they might recognize or, you know, their neighbor or something, they absolutely decline the job. We do everything we can to keep their identities a secret and keep them safe and stuff. We have this separate car park for them in this big hangar so they can park their cars away from the public, because people do get infatuated with them. You know, they'll follow them home, they'll call them all the time, they'll drop gifts off. So yeah, we protect them.
Yeah, you got to kind of do, like, an identity type thing, especially when you go in there.
Mm.
What would build up a good catalog if I was going to make a really good identity?
What you need, like a mustache, some
Yeah, I
glasses,
mean, that helps, but
a scarf.
when they get the profile of, like, if they're like, when they're saying, like, here's a girl, do you show them, like, what their interests are? Like, have, like, a little folder with, like, things they like on it? I like to see
No,
that. Like Tinder.
no, no, that would be good. That would be good. You get to know what the girls are into and what their limits are and all of that. So I can sort of tell people. But other than that, they discuss it with them in the interview room, because the girls keep their prices secret, you know. The standard, anything above and beyond is extra. So if you want anal, you know, that's gonna cost you a bit. If you want the girlfriend experience, I think that's roughly 150, give or take. Porn star experience is more. It depends on what you want.
What's the difference between girlfriend experience and porn star experience?
What do you think the difference is?
It's filmed.
No. Girlfriend experience is a nice, loving experience. You know, cuddles and holding hands and kissing and stuff like that.
And porn
And porn
star is more
star
like Kim
experience, just
Kardashian.
like straight up fucking. You know,
Okay.
dirty stuff, real dirty.
Not even a small chit chat or Red Lobster
No,
dinner beforehand, just straight up into it.
no. Yeah, they got to do the health check and shower, but as soon as that's done, it's just wham bam. You know, bang me, ma'am.
Do you find that, wait, so you have to take a shower before you get involved?
The dudes do, yeah. And it's all full PPE, condoms, gloves, dental dams, basically no skin on skin or penetrative contact without protection. They have to shower before and after and do the health check. So it might kill the mood a little bit, but like I said, these girls are absolute professionals. You know, they'll keep them entertained during it all.
I like that. Do you ever find that people
Yeah,
just want to watch?
yeah.
Does that cost
That
money?
happens. They want to watch the girls. They want to watch Girl on Girl. Yeah. Everything costs money. If you're coming in to see us, you better bring, you know, your cash or your credit card.
I guess there is a price on happiness.
There is. It's expensive though.
Well, Jane, I really appreciate you, entertaining me and coming on and,
This
first of
was
all,
fun.
letting me in on the industry a little bit, at least of what you do. Because this is, I mean, like I said, I think it's stigmatized by a lot just for what gets shown through media. But honestly, it is, there's good parts to it, especially when it comes to opening up people to something that has been so long stigmatized.
Yeah, definitely. Just quickly, we have a day at work where all the carers, all the disability carers bring their charges in, you know, all of these people that, you know, are disabled. And we have girls that service them. So It's an absolute need. It's a stigma that is slowly being broken down and slowly being accepted. So hopefully America gets on board soon and you guys can start working your way towards legalizing sex.
Is there a lot of drama that is involved in this? I feel
there is so much fucking drama.
Between the girls
oh my God, between the girls, it's like a big cat fight sometimes. You know, they're divas. Some of them are divas, and God bless if any of them see this. I love them so much. They're just absolutely wonderful. But they're fucking divas. You guys are high maintenance. You know, they fight over jobs, or they'll get catty if one is, you know, booking more than the other. And heaven forbid you have two of the same type on. Like, we had two girls who were both tiny, petite, demure girl next door girls the other day, and one just was booking every job and the other one wasn't. And there was just so much animosity.
Stay with me on this example, but it's like WWE where like the people have to get along or fake act a little bit like they like each other when they might have an argument or something so they can please the client and then get through it.
Yeah, yep, pretty much exactly that. Although if they hate each other so much, they're going to sabotage the booking for the, you know, they can just get real petty and vindictive, and a lot of drama in the industry.
Look, if you're sleeping with me, I'm just happy you showed up.
Yeah, right. Why complain?
Well, Jane, thank you so much for doing the podcast. Is there anything you want to promote, such as your Instagram page, your podcast?
Oh, no, you guys should. They should jump on my Instagram page. It's a lot of fun. It's Jane Deschain, same as the name up there. The podcast, hopefully I don't look like a wanker on it. No guarantees that it's going to be good, but you should check it out when it's released. It's called the Brothel Tour. My brothel is called Pentagon Grand. So if anyone is ever in Queensland, Australia, Robbie, when you come visit, I'm going to take you to Pentagon Grand and I'll show you how it all works.
All I ask is that beforehand we get like tacos or something, because I need to be like.
I will take you out for a nice steak dinner and some margaritas.
I'm a cheap girl. I'll take $1 taco. I'm telling you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Out of the Blank podcast, and stay tuned for our next episode.